Hello, everyone. This is Mr. Lima with the lesson plan for the week of May 15th on Remote Learning 2020. This is for my Woodland Park Middle School 7th grade students. And I would like to start by reminding you guys that I've been giving you guys a challenge to do each week. And this is just an activity. There have been activities meant to be done for fun or for give opportunities to students that wanted to improve their cognitive skills to engage in that. And also, especially, a lot of them were hands-on. The one for this week is not very hands-on, but it is one of the cog skills that most people needed help with, or one of the lowest cog skills for all students for this year. But do remember that they are not required. After the deadline, I will exempt all students who do not turn them in, and so there is no need to submit blanks. That just makes my life harder. Don't do that. You can just leave it alone. And even afterwards, if you decide you want to go back and do them, you can just submit them on a Google Classroom, and I'll go back and change your grade on Summit if you decide to do it for a grade. But do remember that priority needs to be focused on the pop focus areas for science and other subjects. Only do this if you have extra time to dedicate towards it or have everything else already under control or are really looking for something fun to engage you and if you're interested in doing that. The challenge for this week is evaluating COVID arguments. It's an assignment where you are given two articles. You pick one of them. One is like pro and one is con. The idea of closing the whole lockdown thing. Should we need it? Should we not do it? So both articles will pull for around the time around March when people were discussing a lot whether this was a good thing to do or not. And you can pick one of the sides and read it and evaluate whether the argument was good or not. And that's one of the cog skills that a lot of people need an improvement on. I'm also offering workshops this week. On Tuesday, we have organisms, matter flow, and energy cycling at 1 p.m. and at 1:45, structure and properties of matter. And on Thursday, we're doing the structure of life. We've already done a workshop on growth and development of organisms last week in class. I can do another one today in class if there's enough interest. If at least 5 people want to be a part of that, I will do it again. But I may do one of those late this week or early next week if there is need for it. Also, what's actually happened today in class, we're going to start class with a discussion on vaping and all the things we learn about it. I also included on the Google Classroom a link to notes summarizing everything we've learned about in our videos, and also on the discussions we've had in class. And I'm going to start class by actually having students complete a pledge online on that. And then we're going to go back to class and do a discussion on the things we've learned. Then we're going to do a little bit of celebrations. We're going to call out names of students that did really well this year and have completed the year. And we're going to do a round of standing ovation and then celebrate that. And then after that, all students that have not yet completed all the PFAs for the year will have a chance to take any PFA that they would like to take during that class if they have not done so yet. And that includes also additionals, any students that would like to take those or attempt those. Students that after that will be encouraged to spend some time completing the end of year reflection and student survey. So these are 2 Google Forms I put together for you guys. The first one, the end of year reflection, it's meant for you as a student to reflect on your performance this year and on the goals you've set for yourself and how well you did. What are the things you could have done better? And it's an exercise for personal growth. It is not mandatory, but it is strongly recommended because I really do believe that it's valuable to spend some time reflecting on what you did. So I strongly recommend that you take a part of that. The second one is a survey for me as a teacher. It talks about what your perceptions about the class, your perceptions about my job as a teacher, how I did helping you this year. And it's invaluable to me that you helped me with that. It's really, really, really appreciated if you spend time completing that one. So whether you do one or both, it's up to you or none. It's really all optional, but I really, really, really would appreciate that. So after that in class, I would just stay on to help answer any questions students have for challenges of the week or previous projects or your overall science grade, help with the PFA or even that workshop if there's at least 5 people who are interested in that. And I will continue to stay in the class all the way to the next class starts, approving PFAs that students ask if needed. I also included in the lesson plan a direct link to the last part focus area of the year, which is growth development of organisms, and a note catcher for that, as well as a completed note catcher that I shared with all the students that have stayed on for the workshop last week. By the way, in the Google Classroom, if you go to classwork view and scroll all the way down to the PFA support section, I have support materials for all PFAs, including the completed note catcher. So take advantage of that if you're trying to struggle to try to pass PFAs. Also, lastly, the expectations for students this week is to try to pass PFAs. That is the goal. But if you really, really would like to help you out. Complete that student survey. It's really appreciated. And help yourself out by completing the recommended end of year reflection that it's really to your own benefit. Now, if you've done all of the above and you have some time, you can also work on cognitive recovery by doing one of the mini projects or challenges that we've been doing since this COVID crisis happens. It can be something that you can do to improve your grade through cognitive skills, or you can work on passing additionals or engage in a challenge of the weeks just for fun. Now, do remember that focusing on passing PFAs for all classes, including science, needs to be your main goal. I will continue to be available during office hours this week from 8:45 to 9:45 each day to help you with anything you need. You can also email me with questions or concerns, and I'll reply to as fast as I can. This is the last class of the year, and so I just wanted to say that it's been a pleasure and an honor to be your teacher this year. It was my first year teaching seventh grade in a very long time, and so it was a learning experience for me, especially with summer learning. And I did the best I could, and I worked as hard as I could to do as best as I could to help you grow in science skills and content this year. And I hope it helped you do that. I hope you grew a little bit from this experience. And thank you for being patient with me, for kind of sharing good times with me. I will miss you guys, and I'll take a lot of good from you guys, especially all the lessons that I've learned from being your teacher. And do remember, don't do anything that would make your mama proud. I'll see you guys around. Don't be strangers.